Hi and welcome. In this video I'm going to talk about how to log in with the JWT. It's short for, what's that short for? Yeah, JSON Web Token. So what we did is to, let's just start live edit and get fresh examples from GitHub, and in here under the MDriven mergeable you will find this one sys certificate. So we're going to merge in that one. Once we have that, we got a few things. We got this view and we got this class, so you will need these in your application for following this example. And I'm gonna save this and hand back here, start the server for this. Maybe it's already running. I'm gonna close it. Like that. And what I'm supposed to find is this view. Not interested in editing it at the moment, so I'm gonna have it like this. So what does this do? There's a few things that you need to know about JSON Web Tokens, and they are based on certificates. So that's why we call this example that we merged in sys certificate. It has this specific class. It uses RSA parameters to generate keys. And what is important with the RSA parameters is these different exponents that are the RSA values. So you're going to generate new, and you can have as many as you like, but one will suffice. One is equal to one certificate. You can produce one certificate with it, or actually you could produce many certificates with the same set of keys, but these are the keys. So now we got the values, and we don't show all the values in the UI, but they will be there. And what I can do from having these parameters, I will always want to have a key identity on the syscert, because part of the Java Web Token is that it contains a key identity. This is for you to allow to have key rotation so that you have multiple keys. So and this you can choose to call anything you want as soon as, well, the token that you create should use the same identities. We're going to call this like K. Not sure why things wouldn't. Okay, we're back after a short break. Couldn't edit the controls, but I restarted the web view. So I'm going to call this K1, and a few things that isn't necessarily related to web tokens is that you could actually create full certificates with this. So you could call, you have the subject name in the certificate to be like something. I'm going to call this one MDriven, and you want to have the certificate valid not before today and not after, let's say, this date. And actually, when you're doing a certificate like this, it should start with CN, and this is then your certificate string. So that's the full X509 certificate that you could use for something. But that's not important now. You don't have to do those steps in order to generate a JSON web token with this certificate. But you need to use the key identity as you have it in the syscert, or we won't be able to look it up when you come back with the key. We will try to look it up against this value. So when is your token, your JWT expiring? So that's up to you to choose. You could set very long time or very short time. It's a date time, but we in this UI we only allow dates. So I'm going to set it to tomorrow, and here I can encode what user this token should assert that it has. So I'm going to put my name, and the audience is something that needs to be present for the token to be valid, and that could be anything in your application, and it could be like nothing. And the issuer is also up to you as a receiver of the token if you want to check, but I'm going to say that it's me. So then I can actually generate a token with these parameters, and by using this I will look up this. So these are the actual key values that will be used. So this is a valid JWT token, notepad. And how can I be sure of that? Good question. Let's see if we can find a web service to verify it. Verify JWT. I've used this one before, debugger. So here I can put stuff in. So this is the token that I've got from that we generated, and so what this says, what it contains, is that its name identity is Hans, as I put it in, and using the same for email. Not to be used before, expires this, so not to be used before is we just set now there. So and the issuer was named me, and the audience was set to nothing. So this is a well, the signature is invalid because it can't verify it, because it doesn't have our public key. So if we want a public key, we should probably paste it in here. Well, let's try that. So what we can do from this certificate is to, yeah, we could use this. Guess, I'm not sure now, I'm just guessing. Yeah, I'm not. That's not the way you're supposed to use it anyway. At least this is a token that's okay for us, and then we can verify the token, and we will put out the username or the email name from that token. So that's a way to just check that the token is okay without using this external web service. You could create this site with these functions, and yeah, so once we have that token, what are we gonna do with it? And we can use that to actually log in. If we copy this link to see how that looks, so it sends a to a new controller. Try log in with JWT, and the token, this token here, is what you should, is the token that you created. And once we do that, we can try to log in with the JWT, and it says that we're logged in as a user Hans, but that was because we trusted this token. And let's see, I'll do browser back. So if I were to instead have put sort of a email address here, like this, and generate the token came up slightly different. And let's see if I can register a user for this, and I'm gonna give it a password to just to register it, and then I'm gonna log out, and I'm gonna add here and then I'm gonna try to log in with this token, and then I'm logged in just as if I would have logged in manually. But how can we check if this really is trustworthy? Well, if we don't get a match on the key, for example, so we call this 12 instead, that means that the token that we issued is using key number 1, because that was part of the header information in the token. So this won't be valid, because now we're coming with a token that using key number 1, but key number 1 doesn't exist. I'm just going to save this because it's going to be looked up in persistent storage. So if I try to verify this, I shouldn't get any information back. I don't. And if I try to log in, it says yeah, it really doesn't allow me to log in, and you should handle this with redirect viewers of some kind. So that's how you can do it. Suppose that you have an application that's installed on a phone. You could have one sys certificate on your server, and you could use this function to generate a token that has long life for a specific user, and you could use that token and store it on the client, and whenever the client starts the application, maybe a month from now, you could send in this token and have the user become logged in from that. And if ever you feel insecure that your tokens or your key has been violated, or that you don't trust it anymore, you could just create a new certificate with a new key identity and use that to issue new tokens. And of course you could have the token expire at any date that you see fit. So what's more in this example view, besides from the JSON, oh, this is wrong, JWT, not GTW. So besides from the JSON web tokens, we also let you produce SAML tokens, and SAML tokens work pretty much the same. I'll make this key active again to key 1. Save it. And there's this flavor of SAML2 token, and they look like this. They are XML based. The idea is pretty much the same as in the Java or JSON web token. But since this is really crappy to send as an parameter on a URL, you could use this function, generate token SAML2 as base 64, and this is basically the same data as a base 64, but also base 64 is crappy to send as a parameter because it contains plus and possibly question marks and things like that. So that's replaced in a common way that's used on the web to communicate base 64. So let's see how that's replaced. I think it's in the like this. Yeah, so this is the standard way to replace sensitive characters like slash and plus. So you don't need to bother with that unless you're going to send the token on a as a parameter. So having that, we could actually also log in with a SAML token. So this one is copy link, actually doing the same thing, but is a new controller called try login with SAML2 and sends the token as the base 64. This also sends in the key identity. So SAML2 is an older variant of tokens compared to JSON Web Tokens. And as such, it doesn't contain a key identity for key rotation, so it's harder to know which key you actually refer to when you come with a token. And any or a system that's going to stay secure over time will probably have many tokens or many certificates to verify the token against. So in order to know that, we require you to send along which key identity you're actually using. And if you do that, yeah, where were we? We should be able to log in with SAML2 as well. And that's how that looks. Good. Yeah, further things we can do with this is to actually, yeah, here's the, as I showed before, this is the actual certificates. We could find a web service to verify that. So let's see if I paste my certificate there and say check. And it probably, yeah. So this one wasn't for me apparently. That's not it. Let's see this one. See content of certificate. Web service. Yeah, let's see then. View certificate details online. Decode certificates to their contents. Paste certificate text. And we get the common name, valid from, valid to, and the serial number. Like that. Good. On the other hand, if we have a certificate from someone, let's see if we can get that. Get the from Google. Okay, get the public key. Oh my god. Okay, after a bit of searching, I remember that I've documented all these things on this older page, and here is one URL to find the keys for Microsoft at least. So I'm gonna go here, and what this says, it's the metadata to know where the where the certificates are, and if I check that path, I can find, yeah, this is the public key, but I really wanted the certificate. Where did that go? Yeah, this was the Google thing, but I wanted the Microsoft thing because they were nicer in copy link. So this is they have a key identity, which is this, and they send in, this is really the important thing, but as a service they also send the complete certificate, which is good. So if I take the certificate text like this, so that's the certificate text, I believe, and we then have a thing here where we can paste the certificate string and create one of our sys certificates from this certificate string. And why it's named key1, it's probably just because I had it there, so it's just in this example. But what we got from this is the CN name accounts. Yeah, let's see what it says. Accounts, access control, windows.net. And so how is this working then? What we got here is actually only the public key. So we can't generate any tokens using this. So we're gonna call that key 2 and say that we try to generate a key as if we were Microsoft. We aren't, so that won't work. Generate a token, and that simply won't work because this is not a complete, it doesn't have the private key. How can we know this? Well, we can check the debug information. I'm gonna reread the model for this and check the sys. So this is the first object that we have, and this is the second object that we have. So we can see there's a considerable difference. This is a complete certificate with the private key, enabling us to issue tokens. And this is an only having the public key, enabling us to authenticate tokens given by someone like this. So we can verify that this is actually the producer of a token that that is presented to us. But we can't generate any tokens. But this that we did ourselves, we can generate tokens with. So that means that we quite easily could do 2 MDriven systems, one that issue tokens and acts as a authenticator or produce tokens, and another one that consumes the public key from that first system to verify those tokens. So that might be good if you want to do a whole farm of federated MDriven based sites, or doesn't need to be MDriven all the way, but you could have different things and send these tokens as login information to make good use of your ability to produce tokens. Okay, good. That's it. Thank you for listening.